So thank you for your interest in the intuitive painting teacher development, where I work with you individually and as a group to deepen your relationship with your creative process, to teach you the universal and fundamental principles of creativity, to support you in facilitating others in the direction of permission and freedom, as studied and presented by Michelle Cassou. And I teach this in the integrity of Michelle's work. And also what it takes to put on workshops, both in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. So it's a multifaceted group study with a lot of individuals support for being an intuitive painting facilitator. So we're going to go ahead and begin. So thank you for coming to this conversation about the teacher development course that I have. It offers a holistic approach to intuitive painting facilitation, and what it takes to put on workshops in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. Now, this training it has a depth and a breadth to it because it invites and supports the individual painter in their own creative process. It invites and supports the individual in deepening their creative process, which is really an invitation to play with the limitless nature behind life. We do this through intuitive painting. So one aspect of the training is to develop the individual. The second aspect of the training is to teach, and we'll have classroom meetings on this, the fundamental universal operating principles of creativity, how they work no matter what. Now, when an individual understands the fundamental and universal operating principles of creativity, they are more grounded, they're more centered, they see how creativity works, and they can facilitate from that place. The training also allows an abundant time of painting with each other in a group, facilitating with your classmates or mentees. Also, you are invited to participate in workshops where you'll be facilitating other people in the workshops. And I support you in the facilitation the whole way. You are never flying solo. You always have a wing person to help you with your own facilitation. The next part of the training is also around what it takes to facilitate, what it takes to do workshops, what it takes to submit proposals for workshops, what it takes to pull off a workshop, what it takes as a facilitator to bring it all together, facilitate, and then wrap it up and bring it home. So it really is the ultimate exploration of freedom and permission is what I've designed this teacher development or facilitation development training for, is because when you can give yourself freedom and permission in your creative process, that is a ripple that goes out into your life. It is, to me, one of the greatest gifts of intuitive painting is you have the opportunity to facilitate, to experience everything, every freedom you've ever wanted in life on the paper. There's absolutely no risk whatsoever on the paper. And then you see how much limitation we live in within ourselves. And intuitive painting is really quite miraculous at how it melts away all these limitations and concepts. No consequences at the paper, which I just love. That was one of the greatest things that I loved about this process, was that there was not a right or a wrong. There was no critiques. There's no judgments. It's really, I kind of say much like the game of golf. It's like you're really only in competition with yourself. How much freedom will you let yourself have? How much permission will you let yourself have? And how fabulous that feels. It can be challenging, and it, like I said, it has a wake that travels throughout your life. You'll see where the limitations melt away in your creative process, they will melt away in your life. So when I share that, it's like, okay, why Sherry Ray to take you on this journey of teacher development? I've been in with intuitive painting for about 20 years with Michelle Cassou. Um, I had wrapped up my third business, sold it, thought I would, tidy up my world, clean my closets, and in 6 months I'd be back to building another business. And it didn't happen that quickly. But what I did was saw a flyer about being able to take a art class without comments and critiques, and that intrigued me greatly. And so once I got a taste of that freedom, I took I took every single workshop that Michelle Cassou taught from for the first year, which made no sense to me because I couldn't even make any sense how that would be possible, but it did. And that launched me on this journey of quite a spiritual journey. I say creativity is such a beautiful vehicle for a spiritual journey. And as the more I painted, the more I wanted to paint. I began to work with Michelle. I began to facilitate her workshops, and we still work together today. I do her workshops in Taos and Esalen, and have taught this process globally. So I teach 100% in the pure integrity of Michelle's work, which is not a technique. It is an exploration of freedom and permission. That's what I love about it, because everyone has their own unique fingerprint, and everyone has the opportunity to rely on their innate creative ability. You don't need somebody telling you how to do it. You just need to have a relationship within yourself to allow this incredible intelligence behind life to guide you. And that's what we create, a relationship with you and this incredible intelligence behind life. Life gets real, it gets really simplified at that point. It gets really simplified because, life is not simple, but it certainly is much easier when you feel grounded and centered and knowing you've got what it takes. And you may not have it ahead of time, but you'll have it in the moment. So that is the gift of having a robust relationship with your intuition. It is the highest intelligence and it's got your back. And intuitive painting is a brilliant way to burn off anything that separates us from our innate intelligence that's trying to inform us as we go. If you don't think you want to paint, this is not the training for you, because you're going to really want to commit some time to your own creative process individually and with the group. And we'll have plenty of opportunities for that to happen in the group. So with that shared, I'd love to open the conversation if anyone has questions about the training. On my website at sherryray.com, I have a complete listing and a complete description of the workshop. If you're interested or you have any questions between now and then, please, reach out. Individually, I would invite you to paint as much as possible. If it's an hour a day, great. If it's 30 minutes a day, great. But to really incorporate it as a spiritual practice into your life, build the habit into your life, the more robust relationship you have with yourself, the more you paint, I'll say you can't facilitate where you haven't traveled in this process. Yes. So the more you paint on your own, the it's kind of like you're just like a tour guide, and it's a new path every time you hike it, except you have more experience than the people who will be following you on the trail. But you got to be ahead of that, in your own grounding, understanding, and confidence in the principles of creativity. The launch has one evening that's late, and then the kind of the textbook teachings tend to be later in the afternoon. Now, when we get together as a group, if as a group consensus, it's like, wait a minute, these times don't work, we can certainly make shifts to adjust. And if you can't make those times, I record them and I can send them to you. All right. Well, I thank you all for coming. Anyone else have any questions? If not, we'll sign off. And thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure to connect with all of you. I hadn't seen you in a while, so this is great. So thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, night. And anytime that you have questions or curiosities, please don't hesitate to call, write. We'll connect and answer your questions. And happy
Thank
painting. Go paint
you.
some.
Yes,
Yeah.
you too.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you for your interest in listening to this video on Intuitive Painting Teacher Development Program. My name is Sherry Ray. If you have further questions, please feel free to call me at 832-545-8488 or connect with me via email at Sherry, CHERIE, @sherryray.com. Thank you.